Good morning, everyone. It's a cold and crisp morning here at Reading Outer Station, although it's supposed to end up being a very nice day. It's February 10th, 2024, and yes, even in February, we're actually going to get temperatures in the mid to high 50s today. Now, I'm here for a couple of firsts today. Today is going to be our first theme train of the year from Reading Outer Station to Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania, the typical route that we all know and love. And it's not going to be the RDCs, it's going to be this passenger train here. And there's one of our other firsts. Not only is it our first excursion train of the year, but it's the first time that at least I've seen 2023 pulling an excursion train out of Reading. Got used to seeing it pull trains out of Pittston last year. So that's going to be our mode of power today. That's our anniversary GP38-2. Looking forward to riding behind that one. And the other first is a little further down the line. You're not going to be able to see it just yet. But there are two very special cars on this train. And we're coming up on Valentine's Day, guys, and what better way to celebrate Valentine's Day than with a couple of new rail cars. And I do mean a couple, as in two. There are two new passenger cars on the back end of this train. Now, technically, they're not in service today. They're being taken up to Jim Thorpe to be turned at the Y. And then they will go to Port Clinton to be worked on next week. But they've been sitting here since mid-January when they were delivered to the railroad by Norfolk-Southern. And I'll talk about them more after we see them pull through. Alright, guys, and that was your first look at Reading and Northern's newly acquired coaches, Lamberts Point and Salisbury Beach. These were both acquired last month from a private owner. Now, the first one that you saw, the dark red one, that's Lamberts Point. That is an observation lounge that was built by Pullman in 1918 for the Norfolk and Western Railroad, and that was their business car number 200. And the second one you saw, the stainless steel one, I know it looks like my favorite Bud cars, guys, but that was also built by Pullman, and that was built as a sleeper coach for Boston and Maine. It ran on their State of Maine Express between Concord, New Hampshire, and New York City. So the train's about to come back. You can get a better look at them as they go by. And then guess what, guys? We're going to take you inside those cars for an exclusive tour, and we're going to ride in those today. You know what, guys? I just realized there's another first. I have not been in our Queen of the Valley dining car yet, number 1167, and that one is on the train today. In between 3 standard coaches, we've got 1 standard coach behind it, and we've got 2 more ahead of it. And we got a generator car and our lovely anniversary diesel 2023. So lots of cool stuff today, guys. No matter how many times I ride this train, it's always something new and interesting. So you ready to come along for a ride with me? All right, get your tickets out and all aboard. Alright, and before we leave Reading Outer Station, we're going to do a walkthrough of car number 1167. That's the Queen of the Valley dining car. And not only is this going to be my first time seeing inside the car, but it's actually the first time that the car is in service. It was parked in Jim Thorpe most of last year, but today is its first appearance in passenger service on the Reading and Northern Railroad. Let's go inside. So we've got this all set up for Valentine's Day. This is similar, a little different, but similar to the North by Northwest dining car number 1166. Morning. And we don't specifically sell tickets for these cars, but if you're a passenger on this train, you can visit this car at any time during your trip. That's pretty cool. Looks really good with all the decorations. Alright guys, and I can't resist taking a quick peek inside RDC number 9167. Here's an odd fact for you guys. I've never been inside that one. I've never ridden in it. Which is kind of odd, right? I mean, the RDCs are my thing. There we go. RDCs for Valentine's Day. I think I forgot to mention, guys, this is the Valentine's theme train. Be running this today and tomorrow. I'm actually working on it tomorrow out of Reading. And for the first year, we're going to be running the same theme trains out of Pittston. So when we're in Jim Thorpe, we'll get to see the Pittston train. Well, I think it's going to arrive before us, but hopefully we'll see it. And we're looking at the balcony of the new Lamberts Point car. New to us, and this is why it's got to go up to get turned. We've got the balcony facing north. It needs to face south to be on the excursion trains on the back. And we're going to ride in here and in Salisbury Beach today.
Gotta push. Everything's
Got
heavy.
it. Say good morning to Andy.
Morning. This is Bruce and Steve.
Hi, Bruce and Steve.
I went to school with Bruce. Bruce and I used to sleep. I don't know how many times we did. A couple times. We used to sleep out in West Hamburg and watch the trains
Nice.
when we were in high school. Well, he had a driver's license. I didn't.
Oh, there you go. Alright, so this is one of the little bedrooms in this car here. And we're looking out here at which one is this one? We're looking out here, 9166. That's the one I grew up watching. And it's a little dark in here, but I'll come back through with the other camera. Got the double beds here. This one here, wow, this has got a private bathroom with a shower. Pretty impressive. And you come out here to the dining room. This was a Norfolk and Western business car. Looks like we got 611 or one of its twins in that photo. And another one of their locomotives in theirs. I'm afraid I'm not as familiar with them as some other railroads, but they had some really big heavy-duty stuff. They had to haul coal up and down the mountains of Virginia and such. We got another small bedroom in here. That would be another bunk bed up there that would fold down. And a kitchen. And our next car is the Salisbury Beach. And this car has a combination of compartments. It has these open spaces here. There's 6 of them. The bunk beds that fold down from the top. One of these was converted into a little kitchen bar. A Huntington Beach, California magnet, and then a magnet of this car. That also would have had a bunk bed. Well, still does, but we're moving, guys. Gosh, this car is smooth. I didn't even feel it. There's 9166, my favorite RDC. Why is that one my favorite? Because I'd seen it when I was growing up. Used to go to the train station in Belmead, New Jersey every night, almost every night, to watch the RDCs come in. And here we go, departing Reading Outer Station. So this is going to be a pretty typical trip to Jim Thorpe and back today. This is the Valentine theme train. And we will make stops in Port Clinton and Tamaqua to pick up passengers. Got, again, more of these open spaces. Looks like some pretty comfortable seating. Oh, this car rides very smooth, guys. We're already into the North Reading yard. I didn't even feel us going over the switches. There's a lot of switches out here. This car has 4 of these private rooms here. And they have letters on the doors. That's room A. This one's got more of a double seat configuration, and these fold down into beds. And I'll come through with the other camera. That should be a bathroom behind that door. And how do I know this? Well, I cheated. I looked at a floor plan I found online. And actually, I'm going to link that article in the description of this video. There are some good information about these cars to be found online. Here's another with these. These look like really super comfortable seats. I'll have to try them out. And then you have these roomettes. These are going to be a lot smaller. So you got an individual seat here, a little bench. Actually, if you lift that up, that's there's a toilet under there. You have your own little sink. Got a rack up top to store your stuff. Here's one with the bed folded down. That's cozy. Tell you what, this car rides nice enough. You could definitely sleep comfortably on it. And there's 6 of these little roomettes here. Getting down to the last 2. And we're just clearing the North Reading yard now. Looks like there's 1983. God, that would have been a neat shot, guys. Having 2023 go past 1983. That's our other anniversary unit. And the 2 little switchers that you see with the lights on in the background, they're also hooked up to a GP38-2 number 2010. I caught them pulling a pretty long freight train through Reading Outer Station this morning. And that will be posted in my February recap video, not in this video. Here we are passing under Route 222. Alright, I'm going to take you guys outside because we are going to go over the Peacock's Lock Viaduct. And I've never gotten this kind of view from it before. That's the Schuylkill River we're crossing over. That's going to conclude our first walk through the cars. I'm going to go back with my other camera and do another walkthrough. That version's going to be on the Railroads channel though, so keep your eyes out for that one. Alright, we just passed under Route 61 again. We're pulling into Reading and Northern's headquarters in Port Clinton. We will stop here briefly to pick up passengers, and we'll also be stopping a little bit later in Tamaqua. Got one of our cabooses there. The lettering's been taken off, which I think means that it's probably going to be painted soon. There's a couple others that have been repainted recently. I haven't seen them in person yet, but we'll see if we can find them along our ride. Got my favorite GP39RN 2532 being worked on there. Why is that one my favorite? Of course, it's because I got a cab ride in it almost a year ago in Minersville on the Easter Bunny trains. For some reason, it's also been the locomotive pulling a lot of significant rides that I've had on this railroad over the years. So I'm pretty fond of that one. Let's see what else we can see. Got the usual line of diesels here, either just parked or waiting for service. 3068 up there has a pretty new paint job. We saw that one pulling the fast freight recently. And there's our single horn. That means we've stopped to pick up passengers. And wow, looks like a good number of people getting on the train here today. Alright, now we're leaving Port Clinton. Next stop, Tamaqua. Our Skytop Explorer Superdome, number 5. Hadn't seen that one in a while. I was wondering where it got off to. Alright, we'll be coming up on the steam shop next. You recall I visited that recently to check on our favorite steam locomotive, 425. Looks like the work on her is coming along nicely, but we still got a little bit of a wait till she's back in service. 2102's in there too, and she's looking great. I bet you they could run her tomorrow if needed. There's one of the standard coaches, one of the 200 series. I didn't catch the number. I love this view, guys. I'm gonna stay back here for a while, but I'm gonna turn the camera off. I'll turn it back on in Molino. We're gonna be looking for our friends Cam and Ian from Lehigh River Subdivision. We're about the midpoint of Tamaqua Yard now. In a couple minutes we'll be at Tamaqua Station to pick up more passengers. Cool, there's one of the new cylindrical hoppers. Seen them, two of them. I've seen them in some other people's videos. That's the first time I'm seeing them myself. You see those lock cars? Those used to be delivered by Norfolk-Southern. They used to come up the Lehigh line near my house. And that's business that has now gone to Reading and Northern. Cool to see a good number of loads of those cars here now. Another of our cabooses. Ah, there's one of the newly painted ones. Didn't get a great look. We'll get a better look coming back. And the horn was for the Spruce Street crossing. And now this horn is for crossing, I guess that would be 209 in Tamaqua. And you're not going to see much from here. The station's up this way. Be crossing over 209 here. Just taking a look at some of the buildings that go along with the station here for the railroad. And I haven't talked about my model trains or 3D printing in a while, guys, but some stuff's been happening this winter. I've had some time on my hands, and I'm working on getting some of that stuff going again. Ultimately, this is a station I'd like to model. It's not going to be my first project. It's a little more involved. And actually, I'd like to be able to get a laser cutter. If you look at those support beams on the overhang there, that would be better cut by laser than 3D printed. But all in good time. I've got some simpler projects coming up first, and we'll work up the stuff like this. We got a couple people getting on board here. We'll have some fun today in this car. This is Salisbury Beach I'm riding in right now. Engine really working hard. We are climbing up a fairly, for the railroad, steep grade right now. I'm not sure the percent, but this is one of our bigger climbs from here up to East Mahanoy Junction. Well guys, sorry I was a little bit slow getting the camera back on that one. My bad. We'll get it in full on the way back. Alright, we're at East Mahanoy Junction. Show you something cool as we get around the bend here. This is a popular site for rail fans. There's Cam and Ian again. Alright, off to the right here. You can see it beyond the trees. I probably should have shot it out the side window. It's now a private residence, but it was a former Reading Railroad station. It was moved back, further back from the tracks at some point and became a private residence. How would you like to live there, guys? Live inside an old station? I know I would. We're going to be crossing over Route 54 by the Barnesville Post Office. Still climbing. We'll be to Hawks Junction in a couple minutes, and then not long after that we'll be crossing over Hometown High Bridge with a spectacular view out the back of the Salisbury Beach car. I'm a little slow on the camera here too. This is one of the junctions for the Hawks Y. If you were to take that track, that's the path over to the right. That's where the Oneida Clipper went last year. We'll go north up to Oneida Junction and eventually into Hazleton. And you'll see the other leg in a minute. And the reason I'm a little slow getting the camera going, guys, I'm riding backwards. It's been a while since I've been on this route. And, you know, the best way to learn a route, I'll tell you this secret, is to be narrator. I know the Pittston route at this point better than this one because I know the points to look out for, you know, ahead of time in advance of the crossings. I don't quite have it as dialed in from the back of the train on this one, so we'll work on that anyway. I'll make sure it's on before we hit Hometown High Bridge. That's Carbon Junction, that's the other side of the Hawks Y. And that is where it would take steam locomotive number 2102 to be turned after an excursion from Reading to Jim Thorpe and back. Yeah, she's got to come all the way back up here to be turned around. And that's because she's a little too big to fit on the turntable of Fort Clinton. Some MOW equipment parked alongside the tracks. There's one of my favorite filming spots off Church Road. That's where we have the old truck. Be crossing Marion Avenue next, and shortly after that, Hometown High Bridge. Actually, it just dawned on me how I'll know we're about to go over Hometown High Bridge. You'll feel us slow way down. And that's not a speed restriction or anything. We just like to give the passengers a good view. And who doesn't appreciate that? It's by far the best view on this route, which is really saying something because there's a lot of great views on this ride. comes. I'll try to give you a little bit of each side. We got the walkway on this side, looking towards the dam over there. Going a little quicker than I would like. Got the view looking south there. Little creek below. This was originally designed to have 2 sets of tracks. The second set was never installed. It'll give us a view out the back before it's gone. We'll do it again on the return trip, don't worry. I would have liked to slow down a little more, but we do have a time schedule to keep to. And we're going past Lake Otto here. You do get a better view of the lake in the winter when the leaves are off the trees. Kind of tell from my video, guys. You can kind of tell from a lot of my commentary and videos, I actually like riding in the winter better. Everything may not be lush and green, but I like that you get a better view. Things that are obscured in the summer become visible in the winter. That's just beautiful. Maybe if I ever hit the lottery, I'll buy myself a house back here. We're approaching the Reading and Northern campus in Nesquehoning. And I think this is Ian coming up on Route 54. See if he catches up to us before we split ways from the road. That wasn't there when I was up here just the other week. We'll be back here to keep tabs on that progress. Going through a little neighborhood here in Nesquehoning. I don't usually film here, but there we go. I love the people in that blue house. They always wave at the train. Don't know them personally, but every time we go by, I see them outside watching and waving. That's what I'd be doing too, guys, if I had a house along the tracks. Figured I'd film through this neighborhood today, just because we got this great view out the back of Salisbury Beach. That's the Nesquehoning Tunnel. It's not that much of a tunnel. It does pass under Route 93. It's pretty short, but technically it's a tunnel. That means we're on our final approach to Jim Thorpe. We'll be to the Y soon. I'm going to film out the back for that. And then I got to make my way forward on the train. So what's happening now off camera? It's 11:06 a.m. Lehigh Gorge Scenic Railway would have departed Jim Thorpe Station. It's probably nearing Nesquehoning Junction or just through it now. And then they'll go up into Lehigh Gorge. The Pittston train will come through. Actually, they'll probably be passing each other in the yard as we speak, or maybe they did a couple minutes ago. And then we will come into Jim Thorpe while the tracks are clear. Okay, and we are coming up here to Jim Thorpe Junction. See the track splits off here. This is the track that goes over the freight bridge. And there is the Lehigh Gorge Scenic Railway. It's the 11 o'clock trip. Got the Mach Chunk Club car on, 2 Crown Class cars, 2 Domes, 2 Standards, and our favorite little red caboose. And that is all being pulled by the F units. So they are crossing the Coalport Bridge. And we are going forward here towards Nesquehoning Junction. As soon as we're through that junction, guys, I'm going to shut this down and we'll pick things up in Jim Thorpe. But I got to gather up my gear and get ready to get off the train. And that's the track there that leads into Lehigh Gorge. Eventually goes north to Whitehaven and Pittston.
They built the stuff to last, huh?
They sure do. 1918 for this one, from what I understand.
No, it was 14.
This was 14. The 100 and 200. This is, I guess, the original 200. The 300 was 18.
Oh, okay.
So there was like a 4-year difference.
You can't believe everything you read on the internet.
Business car.
There was 3 of them.
Yeah.
So the one was 14, which is this one. The one was 1918. The original one might have been 1912.
There, we just crossed it.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Alright, and that's the Pittston train we're looking at. That's something new. They got car number 7 on the back of that.
But for the last minute notice that we put up, I wasn't too concerned about that. That's a beautiful train now, though, with that car on. That's really...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my car made it safely. Look, Tyler, it's there.
Nice.
The fob is in the ticket booth when you get in the door.
Okay.
It's on the coat hanger there.